I learned the accent as best I could.
I read all the biographies.
Princess Diana wasn't called the people's princess for nothing. She resonated with millions of individuals across the globe. So it's only natural that Hollywood would want to keep her alive on our screens. But it hasn't been without difficulty. In fact, some would even call it terrifying. Many actresses have tried to take on her character, even a royal relative. And while some have been true contenders, others have fallen just under the royal requirements.
When I look at her, I feel like I don't know what's gonna happen.
Who would have thought that Kristen Stewart would be going from playing Bella Swan to Princess Diana within a few years? Being very young when she passed, Kristen didn't fully grasp who Diana was until she dove deep into her history.
I've not been as consumed by something in so long.
And soon became protective over her and her story. Kristen had a very unique way of preparing for the role.
It was just about allowing her to affect me.
But, as she said, she soon realized that there was no proper or perfect way to play her. The biographies and videos she watched would never be enough. Nevertheless, Kristen admits that the most intimidating part of it all was her voice. The accent is intimidating as hell, because people know that voice, and it's so distinct. To help with the accent, she worked with dialogue coach William, who helped her realize that the key to it all was to not rely on mimicking Diana, but on creating the illusion of a character.
I learned the accent as best I could.
As for the physical transformation, Kristen described Diana's hair as architectural, which meant to achieve the perfect look they had to build upon Kristen's real dyed hair. The perfect hair, mixed with near-perfect wardrobe replicas, supported Kristen's performance amazingly.
I'm genuinely so excited to see you take on the role of Princess Diana.
Elizabeth Debicki is the lucky actress who was chosen to take on the role of Princess Diana in the final season of The Crown. And like a lot of people, she was in awe of what this woman actually brought to the world.
Yeah, she exists in a profound way.
So, it was only natural for her to dive into the world of dukes and duchesses right away. But it wasn't without some trepidation. I'm terrified and I'm excited. With her blonde hair and glowing personality, Elizabeth had the advantage of already resembling Diana. But she had to do some major research in order to fully understand her as a person. In order to really embody her, Elizabeth even used the feelings of loneliness that came out of the COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown. The difference between being entirely on your own or being able to see a friend and go for a walk down the street, that makes you regain perspective. Princess Diana had an eventful life that Elizabeth seemed to truly grasp. Emma Corrin wasn't even 2 when the world lost Diana, and according to the actress, that really affected how she took on the role of the young princess in season 4 of The Crown. So, in order to get to know her, Emma interviewed people who had been in her life, like Diana's private secretary, Patrick Jeffson. Although she got some vital information from Patrick, like how Diana had a natural inclination towards happiness, she called speaking to people who knew her a bittersweet experience. Nevertheless, she dove into studying history and working with her movement and vocal coach Polly Bennett. She even nailed Diana's dialect.
For her voice, it's mainly that everything sort of goes down at the end.
And would constantly repeat,
All right. All right.
to get into character. As for her physical transformation, makeup designer Kate Hall designed 6 different wigs to replicate really historic Diana's moments and even used photos for makeup reference. But the real showstopper was the wardrobe. Specifically, the replica of Diana's wedding dress that had the entire production in awe.
And I just remember this hush descending over everyone.
The Crown had help from Diana's wedding dress designers, David and Elizabeth Emanuel, to make this moment as realistic as possible. Overall, Emma says during the process, she got to know Diana like you would a friend.
Doctor, this is Diana.
Preparing for her role as Diana in the movie Diana was no joke for Naomi Watts. Before even starting production, she was put through a 3-month workout and diet regime in order to get her frame as similar to Diana's as possible. As for the emotional part of it all, Naomi realized how tedious it was to play someone like Diana.
I mean, it's delicate.
However, she did all the research she could on Diana before diving into the role.
I read all the biographies. I looked at every piece of footage.
But she wanted to make sure she didn't fall into trying to mimic her. She prepared so much, there were times she would even dream of Diana. On set, Naomi spent hours in the makeup chair having a prosthetic nose and multiple wigs applied. For the wardrobe, they were able to work with designer Jaka Zaguri, who created many of Diana's iconic pieces. I created replicas of dresses I had designed for Princess Diana. With an actress and team as good as this one, it's no wonder Naomi was able to give the world a very accurate representation of the late princess.
This is my Princess Diana.
Right from the start, Bonnie Soper was dedicated to making sure she did Diana justice. The casting agents were shocked when her audition included hair, makeup, and costume inspired by the princess. However, just their similarity in appearance alone may have done the trick. Her audition tape is just uncanny.
I'd like to be a queen in people's hearts,
Bonnie says she did the research for the role and was surprised at how much her own instincts helped. I get sort of instinctive about some things, and I felt really positive about this. Although the productions she was a part of weren't as widespread as some of the other actresses, her dedication to the role did the princess justice. It was no secret that Genevieve O'Reilly wasn't the most similar in appearance to Princess Diana. However, she was able to make up for it with her impeccable preparation. She trained herself with voice and body language classes in order to portray her near perfectly. Genevieve doesn't look like Diana, but she can act. I'd think I was watching archive footage of Diana herself. Genevieve was also given advice from an unsuspected person. While filming, Genevieve was approached by a former royal servant who told her, "Keep your chin down and your left eye slightly up if you want to capture what she really looked like." Sometimes it isn't Hollywood professionals who can give you the best advice, but those with real experience.
You had to tell your story. I've had to sell mine.
Julie Cox fell into playing Diana in a whirlwind. She was cast just a few days before the filming of Princess in Love began, and had never read a book or watched a program about Diana. While there was the obvious struggle of her having no background history on the princess, I thought if I had read it, I'll have a hard time taking the script seriously. Transforming her physically was also a challenge. Not only did she have brown hair, which they did dye, but Julie is only 5'4" in height. That's a whole 6 inches shorter than Diana was. The environment on set was a very difficult one for Julie and the crew, who often complained about unfit working conditions. However, in the end, they were able to pull it together and get the film released.
These are for you.
Lovely, thank you.
Serena Scott Thomas earned the title of being one of the most identical Dianas that television had ever seen in Diana, Her True Story. With a wig and a costume department that were able to match some of Diana's wardrobe pieces perfectly, her transformation was seamless. Some reviewers even admitted to forgetting they were watching an actress and not Diana herself. Catherine Oxenberg's portrayal of Diana in the royal romance of Charles and Diana was very meta. She's third cousins with Prince William and Prince Harry and actually attended the ball the day before Diana's wedding, something she thinks makes her even more qualified for the role. At the ball right before their wedding, Charles came up to me and he said, "Would you like to meet Diana?" Her parents had been worried about how their family would react to the film, but Catherine felt she could do the princess justice. To prepare, she says she took many visits to Buckingham Palace. Caroline Bliss was one of the original actors to ever tackle playing Diana. She had the advantage of Diana still being alive and being present when the world fell in love with Diana, experiencing it firsthand.
Do you think you'll ever be queen?
No, I don't.
Diana led a life of love, compassion, and leadership that the world will never forget. While no actress may ever come close to playing her perfectly, keeping her on the big screen in any form is a gift to the world. Which actress do you think portrayed Diana the best?